Hey guys, it's John. You are on the JRB Tree Climbing channel and you're on the playlist, the JRB Climbing Method. I've got some folks waiting for a climb where I'm going to utilize the recently published Double Michoacan or Double Meech. You can find that hitch on my playlist called Knot Time. I'm working alone today and I've already rigged up my system with a double Meech on either side. The rope I'll be using is that Meech 8.0 Alpine Dry. It's a dynamic rope used by rock climbers, mountaineers, and cavers. And the hitch cord is Sterling 6.0 TRC. And I don't have the throw ball up in the tree yet. We're just going to take care of that in real time. This is pretty easy. Now, working without a cameraman today, I'm going to stay really low so you can see what I'm doing, just demonstrating the technique. Got my throw ball already on the ground here, and this really should be a one throw situation for me. We're just going to grab the lowest crotch on that black walnut. Quite simple. Of course, in a real hunting scenario, you might be in some pretty tricky trees and might need to do that quite a bit. And we'll go over our throw ball technique in another video. Just wanted to give you an idea. Now, in a real hunting situation, I don't actually carry my throw ball because the tree is already set up in advance. Okay. Now, this is the hitch, and it cannot get lost in the crotch because it's clipped into a boat clip. Okay, so I've got my saddle, got my primary bridge handy. I simply clip that into the double Meech on the right and the double Meech on the left, grabbing both hitches. I then reach into my saddle bag and grab my Garda hitch foot loop. Put it on the line. I generally climb with 1 foot. It's just so easy. I don't need 2 feet. I can use them if I want to. And for redundancy, attached to the Garda hitch via a clove hitch is what I call my best friend system. It's my redundancy. And I put my redundant bridge on that. What that ensures is that if there were any slippage, failure, or unforeseen failure north of the Garda hitch, I am always going to be tied into the Garda hitch. And the climb is this easy. Set in the system. Multiple techniques we can use here. I call that the double shove, where I put a hand under each friction hitch and shove it up. Now, let's say you were new, or you were trying to be optimally slow and optimally quiet. As an alternative, we can simply raise up like that and push these up. Show that again. Now, how much force am I using? Let me just take 2 fingers and put them under the hitches. With 2 fingers, I move them up. There's no heroic strength here. Or maybe you're more comfortable reaching over the hitches and pushing them up. Numerous techniques here. No great expenditure of energy. So let's assume for a moment that this was hunting height. I would spend several hours in this location. You might use a platform. I never switch to a tether. I would stay on my climbing rope. When it is time to rappel, first thing I do is remove my Garda hitch foot loop. and then form a munter friction hitch using both lines. And the nice thing about these double Meech loops is that I can break them with just my finger strength. So I've got all the slack taken out of the system. I'll break the left one, break the right one. And so I can, with just my fingers, I can tend these on the way down. Not a lot of strength required for the rappel. And with the munter, I can restrict the amount of friction that goes in. As I mentioned in the knot tying video on the Double Meech, the amount of jamming that occurs inside of the friction hitches is somewhat proportional to the amount of load that you put on it. And because I've got a double Meech on each side, that means only 1/4 of my body weight is being placed on any of the Meeches. And so, you know, even when I load it significantly, it's still easy to release. Do that again. It's still with just fingers. So as I've stated in prior videos, I started out with doubled rope technique or moving rope systems, and I switched to SRT. I respect the mechanical devices we can use for climbing, but I prefer to do it old school with just knots, rope, and beaners, hitch cord. And I find that there is still some exploration and still some discovery in that art of climbing, and that's how the JRB climbing system evolved. Not selling this information, it's for free. All that I ask is if you've got questions, you ask them. And if you entertain any of the techniques that I use for your own climbing, that you take responsibility for so doing and do so safely. Thank you, guys.